A routine call turned into a life-changing moment for a former local firefighter. Shot in the line of duty, he faced a long road to recovery, physically, emotionally, personally. But instead of letting that night define him by tragedy, he's using it as a turning point.
My brain was in shock. I couldn't see, my ears were ringing. I can't really get my thoughts together or figure out what happened. I just assumed that I was shot in the head. Just started counting down. This is it, and I've only got 4 or 5 seconds left. This is it.
On the evening of June 28, 2021, the course of former Portsmouth firefighter Chris LaLonge's life changed forever. What began as a routine call for help on Surrey Street unraveled into a moment that reshaped everything he knew.
So power line was in the street, totally standard call.
But that's when an argument flared between neighbors. Per policy, LaLonge and his crew members didn't get involved, but instead called in police. Before they could get there, the dispute turned physical, and LaLonge stepped in to break up a fight.
You know, I went up behind him and put my arm under his neck to lift him off of somebody else.
That's when everything went black.
So I just feel pain. I don't know where it's coming from. I saw the hole in my arm. The exit wound had blown out a significant amount of chunk of my arm.
Documents say police rushed LaLonge and a second man who'd been shot 3 times to the hospital that night. Police say the shooter, 8-time convicted felon Donald Parker, ultimately barricaded himself in his home and was later arrested. Mallory, LaLonge's wife, got the call to head to the hospital shortly after.
It was like a scene from a movie. Everything was just kind of like foggy. We turned, we saw rooms, we saw people, we saw medical staff, we saw the fire department people.
Doctors discovered the bullet severed one of 3 major nerves in his arm, which explained his brief blackout at the scene and the loss of muscle use in the back of his hand.
The bullet entered right here on this side of my elbow, went through the elbow joint, and then exited on this side of the elbow and just kept on going.
After 13 years as a first responder, his path veered far from familiar.
I couldn't turn my car key. My daughter was 4 at the time, and not being able to do her hair anymore because I don't have 2 hands.
I just consider us extremely lucky. And I think over and over, you know, all he had to do was take 1 step to the left, to the right, you know, not take as big of a step back, because when he had the guy like this and it comes right here, it went right past his head and his head.
His new journey demanded a little more than luck. After appointments and a surgery, some ability was back, but he still couldn't grasp things.
I have this problem, I want to solve it. I was looking for something to help me.
From struggle came creation. He engineered a device that gave his injured hand a second chance.
For activities like this, something flexible that kind of keeps my hand open, just basically bridging my fingers and having a solid but flexible structure, keeping my hand open, but it's giving me that spread that I can't do myself.
And with that same hand, he chose to write. He poured his story onto the pages, and after years of perfecting it, he shaped a book titled Scars with Purpose. A testament that pain can carve out meaning. His purpose now, he says, is spreading that message.
And especially purpose after tragedy. When those things happen, you know, we can always use them for good.
If you're interested in buying his book, you can find a link through this story on wavy.com. Also interesting, he's working on getting that medical device in rehab centers across the country, taking those steps in that process. As for the shooter, he pleaded guilty to unlawful wounding and was sentenced to 5 years in jail with 3 suspended.